Now that St. Louis has traded away two of their top players, who's next on the market to move?
Changing here. McDavid, beautiful move. Front back the ball, over to Crosby. He scores! Crosby, 500!
Watch this play between the legs, comes right back to him.
But man, oh man, has his kid got some hands.
Into that, it looks like he's going for the old Michigan. He brings it up. Miller goes to knock it up. He shoots it in front.
Oh, what a pass!
Away, gains the zone around Kubalik. Back to Foligno, he scores!
With a lot of mustard on it.
Ovechkin score! The Grade 8 Express pulls into third place all time.
This is the Pucked Up Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pucked Up Podcast. I am Chris, and joined with me always are my two favorite ladies, Danger and Dee. We took
Just like the princess wave.
just the royal wave.
The
Oh yes.
Elbow, wrist.
Yeah.
Elbow.
Oh yes. Hello. Oh, how
Yes,
wonderful to
hello.
see you.
How was the morning to you?
Yes, I've seen the Princess Diaries. Don't you dare
Everyone should
judge
watch
me.
the Princess
Hasn't.
Diaries.
It's a great movie. We did have a little bit of fun conversation before recording that you guys will hear right here.
I'm
For
not
sh-
even
not
gonna
light on.
pretend to know what the fuck is going on in the league anymore.
Yeah, I
Let's be fair,
honestly,
you took a vacation, so
yeah, I also didn't
you
watch
shouldn't.
any hockey last week. Fucking, last week was the first week of the NASCAR season, so like nothing fucking mattered.
Yeah.
I missed the Ducks game yesterday because the 500 was on, and I was like, this is more important.
I've watched hockey because obviously the Caps started playing again, and I wish I
Yeah.
fucking hadn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. They were
Yeah.
fucking miserable games. We very weirdly, beat the Boston Bruins, and then lost every other game after that in a very humiliating way every time. So
Hey, welcome to my
Almost
world.
Okay.
My team loses in a
Yeah.
humiliating way most days.
We
But
had
like
a
how are you gonna
nasty
beat one of the
stretch.
best teams in the league?
We
right
beat the
now?
number one team in the league and then just
Yeah, and then
suck
just
a bag
eat
of dicks
shit
the rest of the
time.
Yeah.
Danger's like, I feel that on like that is the Wild's
Feel it
problem
in
all
my
the time.
soul.
Hashtag
I've been feeling
life.
it for 30 some
Or-
odd years. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, like it. one time in my life.
I know. I can't say much. My team at least has a cup. So like I can't just be like same, but we're 1-2 in the finals. So
Yeah.
we're 1-1 rather, because we've only made it twice.
Right. But no, like
Fuck
and
the
that
Devils.
goes back to what, like 90, 91 with the Stars when
Yeah.
Stars and the Penguins.
Yeah, that's right, because they lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. But that was, I
Shit
mean, the last
there.
time our NHL team made it that close to a cup.
Yeah, because the Stars have one, but that's well after they left.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Well after they
were
left.
the
They were
North
that was
Stars.
99, because
Yeah.
that was a fucking controversial one. That was the foot was in the crease, or the skate was in the crease, and if that hadn't counted, the Buffalo Sabres would have won the Stanley Cup.
Right.
Then they changed the fucking rule after, so like, oh, you could have your skate in the crease. Like, fuck you. You fucked the Sabres.
Wasn't that a good conversation, y'all? Aren't
honestly,
you glad we saved it?
The power of editing, y'all. Like, that's really what it comes down to.
Shout out to our editor.
Right.
Right.
Shout out to our amazing editor, the one and only.
Finjiff. I feel like that's the time that you have to use his,
I am
like,
Well,
handle
it's
and not his
technically
name.
resident-
Cyclops.
Technically, I'm resident
Oh,
editor
true.
Cyclops, according to Dave's
I
Dave's
forgot about
YouTube
that.
channel.
That was knowledge that I had
Via the
18
words
years ago.
you put in there.
Yeah, only because Dave one day was like, yeah, you should just start calling yourself say edited by Cyclops. It's like, why? He goes, because you have one eye. I'm like, well, I have two. Only one of them works. So since that's
Then
where
doesn't
that's
that
come
mean
from.
Technically, you only have one.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
gonna be
technically.
if we're gonna
I
be
mean, if we're gonna be
technical.
technical about it.
Yeah, I have one that works. But yeah, what are you gonna do? But yeah, we have
Uh,
some fun stuff to talk about. Obviously, we weren't here last
I think
week.
so.
Um,
Yeah.
because we did a whole channel reset. In a sense, to celebrate year 2 of LTN Media.
Hell yeah. Welcome to it.
Exactly. You guys are here on the ride for year number 2. The start. This is the
Yeah.
official first
This
first
is.
thing that's being recorded for LTN Media in our year 2 slot.
Congratulations to us.
Right? I want to start off a little bit by
Little bit.
some of the stuff that we have. And Danger, I know you have more on this, but shout out to David Pasternak for hitting 40 goals this season. I think he's at 41
Yeah.
now, right?
41 as of tonight. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah, that's at least what I think.
Correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong.
Yep, he scored 2
Um,
tonight, so 40 and 41.
Right.
Nice.
And then we just thought it was, well, not at me. I thought it was interesting. With Kirill Kaprizov, it has now been, or as of yesterday, 400 game minutes since the Wild scored a goal without Kaprizov on the ice. Which is just an
Which is such
absurd
an-
number,
That's
Yeah, such an interesting statistic too.
right?
Like
And
who's out there
then,
with a stopwatch? Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
who's like
And then,
paying attention.
Yeah.
as of Saturday, Zach Parise had hit his 1200th career game. Which is just pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
And Parise's been around for a long time. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to him, but those were the 2 little snippets I had. And then D, you had a couple of ejections, right?
Oh yeah. So we saw, I mean, couldn't have happened to a
Golden,
fucking
you know.
nicer guy. Sidney Crosby finally got ejected from a game for chirping at the officials. Evidently, he was all up in their shit. We don't know exactly what was said. All we know
Yeah.
is that he ended up being given a 10-minute penalty and a game misconduct, which had him kicked out. And then afterwards, he was interviewed about it, and they were like, "So, what do you have to say?" And he's like, "Can I really say what I think
Yeah.
anyway?"
I can't
Without,
really
I
say
mean,
what
let's
I
be
think,
honest
can
here.
I? Yeah.
That shit is
Yeah.
funny.
Which is honestly funny.
It's so great.
Yeah,
And then
good on
not
him.
even like a week later, we have Nazim Kadri also getting ejected from a game for calling this one we do know. He did call a referee a bitch.
That's
So
so
Yeah.
he
fucking
was like,
funny.
"You're out of here." So he also
Yeah.
got a 10-minute misconduct penalty.
Ah, that makes me laugh so hard.
Because according to
Right.
Daryl Sutter, he had already been warned in that same game too, and then continued to just call the referee a bitch. And he was like, "Dude, I told you."
That's
Right.
great.
Like,
I'm here
come
for
on, man.
that. I'm here for that.
I think it's so
100%.
funny.
I know,
100%.
but I love that.
I mean,
I
neither
love
of them got fined.
yeah,
I
but
wish they would have, but I think it's funny.
it's
nonetheless.
yeah, that's fair. I do love Crosby just being like, yeah, I guess I can't say anything. No, hey, kind of can't now. Although when I saw that come
Well,
through, I looked at my dad and I was like, dude, the fuck? He goes, yeah, no, he wasn't very happy during that game. I'm like, nah, it seems like it. Shit.
he does it in
Right.
every game though. He was getting in the most recent Caps versus Penguins game. He was mouthing off to the referees to the point where, like, even after the game, he's chasing the referees around the ice to complain. Like, final
That's
buzzer
funny.
sounded, they lost, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, so the Caps are like sitting there watching, like, what is going on? And eventually, Crosby like looks over, sees that everyone's staring at him for like continuing to talk to referees after the third period ends, and he just like is like, oh, and just skates away.
Who else was
Yeah.
doing
And it was
that?
like, dude,
Wasn't there?
what?
There's someone else that's been doing that this year too. I can't remember who.
I don't know. And I mean, like, let's be honest here. Has the officiating always been good? Fucking no. Obviously not.
No.
This
Like,
year has been a
no
little
sport has
better than
perfect.
others, but
I
for
mean,
the most part,
yeah, it's hard. I also don't watch enough games that aren't my own. You know what I
fair.
mean? To be like,
That's fair.
this is a problem. Whereas I'm like, oh no, I'm watching this game that I'm in, and I think that's the wrong call because it's against my team. You know what I mean? So I'll admit
Right.
there's a little bias there for me. That sometimes I think it's bullshit, and it's probably just because I don't like the decision that they've made,
Mm.
which is also
Right.
very fucking normal for fans to feel that way.
Right, of course,
But
of course.
I mean, I will say I haven't seen anything nearly as bad as the very soft call in the Super Bowl that we recently had. So, like, at least there's that. At least the NHL isn't doing silly shit like that. Take your wins where you can get them, I guess, you know?
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I do think that for this moment we haven't spoken about him much. I don't think this month. Connor Bedard watch.
You're right. We have we're in February. We have not had a Connor Bedard watch since January, since the whatchamacallit, the World
New
Junior
Year?
Championship.
Since the juniors,
Oh
World
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Juniors, yeah.
Yeah.
He now in 42 games played, he now officially has 105 points.
Good on ya.
Jesus, like, what the
Good on ya.
fuck, man? This
Yeah,
kid
I
is a
heard a rumor.
monster.
a lot.
I had heard
It's
a
a
rumor,
lot.
and I don't know how true it is, but I heard a rumor that Arizona is waiting to trade Chikrin because they're going to try and see if they can get Bedard.
Yeah, good
And
luck.
I was like, that's
Good
not
luck.
that's not going to happen.
There's
You're
not a.
not fucking getting
You
him.
have to give up
Right.
everything for that kid.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chikrin's not going to be able to cut it for a kid
No.
who's 42 games in and just got 105 points. Like,
He
come on
matched
now.
Right.
in 62 games last year. He had 51 goals. In 42, he has 51.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The kid's a freak. Do we want to talk about another Connor? I think we do. Connor McDavid has
Jesus.
now McJesus. I think that's the most appropriate nickname for him.
Was that PK Subban that said that?
It was
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Subban too.
That was one of the
That's what I
three
thought.
nicknames that PK gave him to
Fucking
choose from.
McJesus.
Yeah.
Um,
I
it.
love PK.
he
man.
also hit the 100-point mark in the season.
Yeah.
He's up to 102 now, 57 games played, 42 goals, 60 assists.
Yeah.
So, dude, McDavid is fucking on one, and it's too bad that the rest of his team isn't on one. Because yikes.
Yeah.
But dude, McDavid, man, he finally came out of a shell in a big way that we all were waiting for.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk during the beginning of the season that I mean, and obviously we've known how good Connor McDavid is for years. But like his coach said he finally got him to be willing to shoot first. Just take the shot is what he kept saying, and obviously 42 goals this season.
Yeah.
Right.
McDavid is heading for a career best year.
Right.
And
awesome.
maybe up to the likes of honestly I think he can hit 150. I think it's realistic. There are a little less than 30 games left in the season. The pace he's on, there's nothing stopping him from hitting 150.
We'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Like I think that's a big one.
That would be
Right.
nice. That'd be cool.
Also, before we round out this little segment part, I do want to talk about Jonathan Taves, who announced yesterday that he's going to be stepping away from the Blackhawks due to dealing with symptoms of long COVID.
Yeah.
He has not played since January 28th.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously he's 34, so like we want to make sure he's healthy enough to come back, finish out his career. However, he seems fit, and dude, long COVID's a bitch.
Yeah.
Like I know people that had it like 8 months ago and are still dealing with things.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
obviously, we all wish the best for Jonathan Taves. Hope he, has a speedy recovery with everything, comes back real soon.
Yeah.
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 Speaking of other players who are out for an indefinite amount of time, Alex Ovechkin is still mourning the loss of his father.
Oh,
This is
that's what
probably
it
the longest
was.
time he's been out.
Yeah. His father passed.
Yeah, his father.
did
He
see
got
a
a call saying that he was really, really ill, and Alex needed to come home. And unfortunately, he did not make it home in time to be able to say goodbye to his father
Oh.
in person, which is just devastating.
Yeah.
As someone who's lost quite a few loved ones and not been able to make it to
Yeah.
bedside in time, it fucking sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really fucking sucks. But he is still in Russia. They have had the funeral. We may see him back next
I
week,
did
but
see
it's unsure.
today that he could be back tomorrow or Wednesday, but that was through like the Facebook Ovechkin page that I follow.
Yeah. I had
So,
seen
who
a rumor
knows
about
then?
that as well.
But
as far
I
as
would
our head
rather
coach
see him like,
was.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would rather see him take the time that he needs
yeah.
before coming back. But yeah,
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else has happened? There's been a few trades
There
since
has.
we last spoke. Um, couple of them are kind of big.
Right.
And most of them are involving the Rangers. I
yeah,
don't think we got to cover this in the last episode, but the St. Louis Blues are just offloading people.
Yeah.
On February 9th, the New York Rangers acquired Vladimir Tarasenko.
Which
Um,
yeah,
great name.
yeah, right. I
that's
10 out
they
of 10.
yeah,
they gave and Nico Mikola. That's who else they got. He's a defenseman.
yeah,
In exchange
Yeah.
for forwards Sammy Blaze, defenseman Hunter Skinner, and conditional picks. Um, as far as I'm aware, Tarasenko scored, I think, like 3 goals since he's been there.
yeah,
The other one that happened yesterday with the Rangers acquired forward Tyler Mott from the Ottawa Senators in exchange for forward Julian Gauthier and a conditional 7th round pick in the 2023 draft. Um, I mean, they're loading up weapons. But the big one
Yeah.
that
huge.
it was huge that happened on Friday, where the Toronto Maple Leafs acquired forwards Ryan O'Reilly and Noel, I think it's pronounced Ashiari, in a 3-team deal with the St. Louis Blues and Minnesota Wild. The Blues acquire Mikhail Abramov, Adam Gaudette, first round pick in 2023 from Toronto, third round
Wow.
pick in 2023 from Ottawa, second round pick in 2024 from Toronto, and the Wild acquire a fourth round pick in 2025.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. I don't even understand what the fuck happened in the trade.
You're
To
right.
be completely blunt, it's like, why are we involved in it?
What happened is St. Louis just got a metric fuck ton
Yeah.
for their top player or one of
Right.
their top players.
I was trying to remember who else I saw the rumor that wanted to up on the trading block. Now I can't remember who it is. But yeah, it would just when that broke, I was like, what the fuck?
I didn't expect them
I
to
was
trade
with Dave,
O'Reilly.
and I was like, yeah. But even Dave's like, what happened? I was like, oh, it's hockey stuff. He goes, yeah, what happened? I was like, well, a fuck ton,
Yeah.
Like, they gave up
Like,
so much.
yeah.
I
Also, with the
So it'll
Martin
be
Kaut trade, it was
interesting.
interesting that he didn't get calls from either GM to let him know. He got
Yeah.
called from NHL insider Thomas Hurdle.
yeah.
Like, that sucks. Not like your team not telling you that you've been
Yeah.
traded, getting a call from a fucking reporter being like, so, word on the street is. And then being
Yeah.
like, oh,
Did you
shit.
know
By the way,
how
Yeah.
you feel?
Yeah.
Just
I think we just saw what Toronto's intentions are this year. Do you want to
I-
talk about going all in?
Yeah. But that was wild to me. Like, that whole
yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah, that was a lot.
What's crazier is like the money on how I it was weird how they worded who was going to pay what portion of his fucking contract.
Honestly, I couldn't
Yeah.
fucking,
Like
keep
Minnesota's
track
paying
of it.
like 15% of his contract or something.
And he never
Yeah.
played for them, which is like I don't understand how the fuck they got dragged into that one.
I don't know why we're involved in it, but we are. And my grandma, it kind of explained, it's about the salary caps and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that, but still, like, why stick us in it? Like, it makes no sense
Right.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
like
understand.
I mean, except for like we're kind of halfway between St. Louis and Toronto, so maybe it's like a layover situation that they just felt needed
maybe
to sign contracts for.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure out how the fucking money portion worked because it was just like chaos, but
Yeah,
I
Right.
mean,
I think Minnesota we're paying like 15% of its contract, and then the rest of it's being paid by Toronto or somebody else. I
like
don't know.
Yeah, St. Louis is paying 50% of O'Reilly's contract. The Wild is paying 25%.
yeah.
Which is
And
so
then
weird.
Toronto's paying. Yeah.
Toronto's
Yeah.
paying whatever's left. I like
The
again,
last 25.
I feel like we now know how all in Toronto is this year.
But
Right.
like, they gave up a shit ton of stuff to get it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think basically they're just all in banking on what they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with and you can't honestly like same with the Rangers, like they're going all in, but they really haven't given up too much.
No.
Yeah.
They're trying to, I think, definitely keep a safety net there.
I mean, there's really no word on the conditional picks for the Tarasenko trade, so like I'm not sure how much they
Mhm.
gave up there. But like
Yeah.
to go out and get Tyler Mott to add depth to your your top
Right.
four your I mean top six maybe you could probably put him third line depending. Adding depth, getting star power like fucking Tarasenko.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they bolstered heavy on offense.
Yeah.
So I think any issues they had with goal scoring or anything there, they just eliminated. So
Yeah.
but this brings us to our question of the week. Obviously, trade deadline's coming. What teams do we think are going to make the biggest splash, both buying and selling?
Honestly, I think that you're going to see the Washington Capitals do quite a bit coming up here soon. After our disastrous appearance in the Stadium Series game against the Carolina Hurricanes, where we lost fucking 6-1,
Oh my god.
it
Yeah.
was embarrassing top to bottom, honestly. Ovechkin was out dealing obviously with his father's death, and the team just
Right.
did not show up, despite like really wanting to show up for him. They had nothing. They were gassed. Um, the veterans are not able to hold it down anymore, and it's I think there's also a huge coaching issue. So if we don't make the playoffs this year, you're going to see Laviolette go away. He will no longer be
Yeah.
the head coach of the Washington Capitals. But I think
Yeah.
we're going to see massive trades. I think we're going to dump Anthony Mantha. I think we're looking at possibly getting rid of Lars Eller, to be honest. I would hate it, but I think they're thinking about getting rid of Connor Sherry, who I love.
I love
I would
him. Connor
I
Sherry's
love him.
great.
He's great, but I think in order to get younger players on the team who are faster, they're going to trade off some of our bigger names. We're obviously
Yeah.
keeping people like Osh and Wilson and Ovechkin because he's on a, fucking 4-year contract anyway. Backstrom's still on a really good contract. But we could get rid of people like Dmitry Orlov too. Like those are contracts that are coming up. There's a huge list of contracts coming up for the Caps. And I honestly think we're going to see a lot of those names get traded away, which for me is really sad because I love this team. I love this group of guys that we have in the organization right now. I think they really, really gel pretty well, all things considered. Like, yeah, we're not winning right now, but I think that has maybe a little bit more to do with coaching and a little bit less to do with the actual ability of our players.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're going to see the Caps make quite a big splash. I think it after this last week in the games we lost, it's come time. It's come due.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Danger?
There's a lot of good points in that, I initially, obviously, uh, the Rangers or Toronto, I think the
Mhm.
St. Louis stuff is going to come next year, the year after,
Well, we're seeing
whatever
them
that season.
completely remove
They're blowing it.
pieces. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're basically blowing it up. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't think they're
Yeah.
going to
To
continue
have a
blowing it up.
chance
I think
later on.
they've made theirs for this
Yeah.
season.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't think that they're going to try to push too hard going into playoffs for this year. I think it's more of a
Because
rebuild
yeah,
for
they're
this
not even
next
fucking
season.
close, so
Right. Um, but yeah, so those were like my other two. I would love to say the Wild. I don't even fucking know anymore.
what do you think for buyers? Who do you think's going to go in harder on trades by the deadline?
I'd like to see your team try and do some
Yeah,
shit.
They
Try and make
won't.
some moves.
They won't for the
that's what I
reason
was
of
I know,
thinking.
but
they're
I'd
they're
like to see
trying to
it.
stay with their young talent. Oh, I'd like to
Yeah,
see them go out and grab like a star player. That'd be
you
great.
guys need some
Right.
veteran players. You need some leadership in that locker room because I think they're
Yeah.
young and talented. I just don't think that they
Well,
have a player at the
this is the
helm.
first year without Ryan Getzloff, who's been the captain for forever.
Yeah.
They
Right.
don't have his
And he makes an
leadership, so they're
impact.
trying to figure it
Yeah.
out. And again, it's
Absolutely.
just a rough year. Um,
Right.
you know,
I think we
uh,
might see Pittsburgh do something. I think they're not going to change like their
Potentially.
core, but I think that they're going to make some moves here. I mean,
Yeah.
I can see them being a potential buyer for Kane. Honestly, Patrick Kane has talked about wanting to potentially get
Yeah,
out
he
of
wants to leave.
Chicago.
oh, he's
So
he's
I can see
100%.
Pittsburgh being a fit for him.
Yeah.
And I can see that organization being interested in him
I've heard
as
rumors of
well.
him going to Boston too. But
I
Pittsburgh,
could see
Yeah, I
that.
can
honestly,
see that
Pittsburgh
too.
does make a lot of sense for him. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does. I think for his level of play, I think there's a spot you could put him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think Colorado has to do something. They lost like a shit ton of talent after they won that cup.
yeah, they've had
Yeah.
nothing but injuries too.
I know. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. Although clearly they're giving up people, and I don't think they got back enough for what they gave up. Um, so I don't know. There's quite a few people that I see needing to do something. I just don't know if they're actually gonna fucking pull the trigger.
You know, who we haven't talked about, but we should
A
be.
lot of people. Who?
How shocked would you be if Buffalo went fucking off next Friday?
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen.
Or it's not even next Friday, so 2 weeks from now, right?
The third, March 3rd. So I don't know what day
It is
today
literally
to tell
next
you.
Friday. Yeah,
There you go.
so I should know that. It's my niece's birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Buffalo is in a good spot right now where they're technically
Yeah.
battling for a wild card.
Yeah, I mean,
I
they're
mean,
not doing bad.
Yeah.
I don't see them going ham. I see
they're
them.
only 3 points out of a wild card spot right now.
Yeah.
Right.
They've got about a little over 18 million in cap space. Um, I mean, who's to say they don't try to go out and get like a Patrick Kane or a Jacob Chikrin or to try to
I
make
can
that
see them
push
maybe
to hit
going
the
after
playoffs
Chikrin.
because they haven't made the playoffs in a good amount of time.
Right.
And Buffalo has a lot of talent right now.
Do you think
You
we're gonna see any coaching changes there in Buffalo?
On probably not, considering this is a huge step up from last year. Like the
True.
team is playing
True.
way better than they did last season.
Yeah, last year was an
So,
embarrassment for them.
well, it's been an embarrassment for them for a while, which is awful because, there's a lot of great talent there.
Right.
But I think once they got rid of Jack Eichel and you brought in someone like
Yeah.
fucking Alex Tuck, who's
Which
blended really well.
I would still love to know. Like, I always want to be a fly on the wall in these organizations because Jack Eichel wanted out. He
Yeah,
wanted
well,
out so bad.
there's a lot of
And
reasons behind him wanting out
I
and stuff too,
like
which is
I would
crazy.
love for all of these ones, like I would love to be a fly on the wall at Jacob Chikrin's house right now,
Yeah,
at
right.
Patrick Kane's house. You know what I mean? Like I want to see like really what it boils down to them with the team and why they want to leave.
Well, I guess here's another
some of these things.
question. Do we
Mhm.
think Vancouver's done
No,
offloading
no fucking
players?
ways. No fucking way is Vancouver done. But I'm not surprised by them. So they're not going to make a splash to me because we're seeing this coming from the way they fucking treated obviously Bruce Boudreau, which I'm still not over.
Oh
Despite
yeah.
him now like going on TNT and doing some commentary there for them. which-
Right.
And then
Shout out
Horvat
to-
piecing the
amazing.
fuck out.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't see the Canucks being done. I think they're gonna
No.
fucking throw a whole big switcheroo with some stuff.
I think next Friday we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Like,
Yeah, I think for the show after the 3rd, so the week of the 6th,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's gonna be a lengthy episode about just trades.
And
It'll be
look out
trades and injuries and
because
call it a day.
there may or may not be a trade deadline live stream next week. You have to wait and see.
We'll have to see.
You
Yeah.
have to wait and see on that one. Any closing thoughts before we wrap this question of the week segment up?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No. All right. Well,
I think we're all in agreement.
if
There.
yeah, I mean, if you guys, we'd love to hear your opinions on this. So definitely leave those in the comment section. If
Yeah.
you guys want your question featured on Question of the Week, feel free to hit us up on our social medias. You can hit us up through comments. You can hit us up through Discord. If you go to anchor.fm/LTN_media, you can leave us a voice message if you really want, and we can play it on the show. D, what are the 3 stars of the week?
So, this week, our third star is Dylan Larkin, a center for the Detroit Red Wings. He had 4 goals and 4 assists over 4 games, so 4x4x4, which is cool.
8 points in 4 games is
Again,
pretty great.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Right.
8 points in 4 games is incredible. 2 of those games came in the game against the Vancouver Canucks on the 13th. Their 6-1 triumph over the Vancouver Canucks. And then the other goals coming the other game. So it wasn't like 2 points or 2 goals a game and then 2 assists or
Yeah.
I can't math.
Mhm.
But anyway, still an incredible effort for
Just
him.
steadily productive over 4 games, which is,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Oh,
all
it
you can
totally
ask
checks
for.
out for me as to why he would be named the third star of the week. Second star of the week is a name we are all familiar with, Nathan MacKinnon, who is a center for the Colorado Avalanche. He had 3 goals and 6 assists over his 4 games. So again, 9 points in 4 games is incredible.
Yes.
They the Avalanche went 3-0-1, so that means that they had a loss, but it was a loss in OT, so they still get a point for that in the standings. So his points contributed to that. So good for him.
And we've
Um,
already said what there can be said about Nathan MacKinnon. Like,
Yeah,
everyone already
exactly.
knows his level of talent.
Yeah, his
Right.
1.52 points per game ranks only second to Connor McDavid,
Yeah.
who's at, by the way, 1.79 points
Which
per
is
game, which
fucking
is fucking
bananas.
crazy. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah, so McKinnon's killing it. I'm curious to see how long he stays in Colorado. Speaking of trades and whatnot, I think
I'd
he's
be
great
sh-
for the
Yeah.
he
organization,
just
but I don't.
re-signed, so I'd be shocked if they get rid of him.
Yeah, I I see him wanting more though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like from
Maybe.
a 1,000-foot stare, I see him wanting more. And of course, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, so we'll see what happens. Um,
Yeah.
then the first star we have is Tim Stutzla, which is the way that I say it, and I'm sure somebody else says it differently. Let me know in the
Probably
comments
the
if you
closest.
disagree.
Everyone has a different way to say it.
Yeah. Look, the little umlaut
Welcome to my
is
life.
complicated. Yeah, right? Now I'm in dangerous world. Um, so Tim is a left winger for the Ottawa Senators, and he had 4 goals, 6 assists for a total of 10 points over 4 games, which again is a lot of output for the week. So that helped them get 7 out of 8 possible standing points. So again, it's that 3-0-1 situation, which is really helpful. Now's the time where like points are critical to make sure that people are chasing down a card spot or maintaining the spot that they already have that'll secure that playoff berth for them. Um, so yeah, those are um our stars of the week.
And like, I don't think Stutzla's getting enough love. He's having a
No.
career season. He's got what, 59 points this season?
26 goals for 59 points.
Yeah,
Second on the team
like
with 59
that's
points,
a
which is a career
great
high.
season for him.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
10 points in 4 games is also nothing to bat an eyelash at. So
No.
like,
Absolutely
fuck,
not.
man. And these are 4 names that we haven't really seen predominantly this year.
No.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure obviously we've talked about Nate Mack a few times.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
it's Nathan fucking MacKinnon.
But we haven't talked much
Right.
about Dylan Larkin or Stutzla.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Right.
So,
and the week before, I mean, the 3 stars were Artemi Panarin, Eric Carlson, and Clayton Keller.
I'll
2 of
play.
those
Yeah,
names super
Right.
fucking familiar to this channel. Clayton Keller wasn't getting a lot of love though either. So
Keller's
shout out
having a
to him.
quietly
Right.
good season. I only know he's having a good season because he's on my fantasy team.
Right.
He's been
Yeah.
playing
Pretty
well.
impressive.
You know who else has been impressive this season? The fucking Boston Bruins,
Dude.
who have 91 points this season.
Yeah.
They've
I mean,
technically only lost 13 games. Well,
I
they're
love
not
that, dude.
technically, they have, but
Right.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
they've only lost 8 in fucking regulation. Like,
which is
Bo-
crazy. Like that
Boston's
is they're
going
putting in the fucking
hard,
work.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
your division leaders as of time of recording. Metropolitan Division in the Eastern Conference is Carolina, New Jersey, and the Rangers. The Atlantic Division is Boston, Toronto, and Tampa Bay. The Western Conference, the Central Division is being top three led by the Dallas Stars, Winnipeg Jets, Colorado Avalanche, and the Pacific Division is the Vegas Golden Knights, the LA Kings, and the Seattle Kraken.
God, I
Your
want to see Seattle in that top spot in the Pacific so bad. I gotta be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, they're only 2 points away.
Yeah.
Your wild card leaders as of right now in the Eastern Conference are the Florida Panthers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And in the Western Conference, it is the Edmonton Oilers and the Minnesota Wild.
Nice.
Your bottom
You
five
sneak it in.
in the league are the Vancouver Canucks, the San Jose Sharks, the Chicago Blackhawks, Columbus Blue Jackets, and at the bottom of the league currently is the Anaheim Ducks, which
I mean,
honestly,
Wah,
it's actually a
wah.
three-way tie for 30th.
I was gonna say it is
Yeah.
really a three-way tie for last
No, but
between you, Chicago, and
the
Columbus.
Ducks lost in overtime tonight, so at least we'll get a point.
Yeah. Although maybe you don't want a point
Yeah,
because you want Connor
Yeah.
Bedard.
we do want Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting that in the top 10 in the league, when you look at like just full overall league standings, the first Western Conference team doesn't show up until the number 7 spot. That means
Yeah.
your top 3 in the Metro and the Atlantic have more points than any team in the fucking Western Conference.
Which
Wow.
is, I mean, kind of cool.
It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's shocking because in reality the East is super fucking heavy right now. A lot of
Right.
good teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
I mean, and like even considering how close the wild card battle is, technically the last team that's realistically got a shot is the fucking Montreal Canadiens. They even have
Yeah.
50 points. Like that's
Yep.
how close. Philly has 56. So in reality, they're only like 6 fucking points out of that number 2 spot for the wild card.
Right.
Yeah, there's only 3 points separating the top 4 slots for the wild card.
Yeah,
For the Eastern Division.
which is insane.
Yep.
Because like if you look at the Metro, like there's the top 3 spots in the Metro and Atlantic are pretty much wrapped up. No team below the top 3 there have 70 points, and that's basically the benchmark you need to get there. But that wild card race is going to be interesting. Like you've got the Islanders, the Caps, the Sabres, the Red Wings are in, like they're in the hunt. Ottawa, Philly are realistically there. I mean,
I don't see Philly making it, to be
yeah,
honest.
I think the highest it's gonna go is it's probably gonna be between Florida, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, the Caps, and the Sabres. I feel like are your realistic 5 that are gonna go battle for it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's definitely, and I mean even, and I no, not really, because I feel like the Western Conference, the last realistic team is Nashville. So it's going to be between Edmonton, Minnesota, Calgary, and Nashville.
Which obviously on
right.
this channel we're all in for Minnesota taking that
It'd be nice to see Minnesota make the wild card. And they're honestly only 2 points back from Colorado.
Yeah, they're not too far
They
from
can
it, yeah.
realistically get in the top 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like it's not
And
out of the
they're
realm of
now on a
possibility.
good, upward swing and riding the Gus bus, as they say nowadays.
And well, momentum is king.
Right.
It is.
Momentum is king in sports.
In this game, it really fucking is.
So
in any sport, but I feel especially in hockey.
Oh, absolutely.
And
because of how often you're playing.
honestly, even the top spot in the Metro isn't out of, or not the Metro, the top spot in the Central isn't really out of out of reach for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're what, 7 points out?
7 points behind. Yep.
Yeah.
That's not much.
No.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing a lot closer, and even Edmonton is only 2 points out of third in the Pacific.
Right.
So
Right.
there's probably going to be some back and forths, I think, in the Western Conference on seedings and where things are go. It's not necessarily cut and dry like it is with the Eastern Conference and their top three in
Right.
each division. I think the West is
Right.
going to be a little more fun to watch come the end of the season. Uh
I'm gonna
because
be super curious to see these numbers and how they change after trade deadline next
oh
Friday.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
I
I think
think it's going
that's
to
gonna
be
have some
very
potential
interesting.
massive impact on the
Mm,
swing of these
Right.
numbers.
yes, very much so.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on these wild card races because holy shit, they're going to be
It's
fun.
tight. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
very tight.
Yeah.
And
it
this
is.
is one of those things where in a lot of sports you can always kind of narrow down who, like, fairly quickly who's realistically got a shot. Um
Yeah.
and honestly, up to probably the 23rd team in the league, which is Ottawa, there's a relative chance for all of those teams to make the playoffs. There's about 25 different teams or 23 different teams that realistically have a shot to make the playoffs,
Yeah.
Right.
which I think is insane when what 60% of your fucking league, if not more, as is like a realistic playoff contender.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm very very curious to see what transpires over the next few weeks until the end of the season because buckle up everyone, it's going to be a fucking ride.
Right.
Absolutely. Get ready for some crazy headlines. That's for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Danger, do we want to talk about the naughty boys and the injured
Yeah. Well,
boys?
the only naughty boy that I have, and if y'all have something else, let me know. But I have only Ian Cole, who got fined for $5,000 for striking, kicking, kneeing Andrew Cligino, whatever.
Cogliano.
Yeah, that guy, Cogliano, from Colorado, for injuries. Trying to catch up on some stuff here. With Anaheim, we have Anthony Stolarz is out with a lower body injury, will remain sidelined until late February. Troy Terry wound up on IR with an upper body injury, and he is out indefinitely, as is Urho Vakaninen. Still don't know if that's the correct way to say it. But
It's not, but
fun.
it's funnier.
Yeah.
Right?
I enjoy it when you say it like that.
It's just the way it rolls off my tongue, and it's yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But he is out indefinitely as well with a lower body injury
Yep.
or ailment. For Arizona, we have Jacob Chikrin, who has requested a trade, and he will be out of the lineup for at least a week as talks continue. And that
Again,
was
so
listed
bizarre.
as of the 13th.
Yeah, don't
right?
expect him to
Very
play
weird,
until the fucking deadline.
right?
Until after the
He's
deadline.
not playing until a trade is announced.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, very, very interesting.
Which
for
fucks
sure.
me on my fantasy team because I have Chick
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry about
I
it,
think
bud.
I do too.
Sorry.
Wah, wah. Anyway, for Boston, we have Thomas Nozick.
No sick yet.
Sure. Who is on IR with a non-displaced left foot fracture. Ouch. Predicted to miss at least 4 weeks. Down on Buffalo, we have Cale Clogue.
Cale Clegg,
Whatever.
which is also an
right?
unfortunate series of syllables and vowels.
Poor bastard.
Right.
Like that's a tongue twister for every
I wonder what his
school teacher
middle
he ever
name
had.
is.
I hope
Please
it's
tell
something
me
like
it begins with like a
Brian.
C or some shit. C or a
Oh,
K.
God.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Just because it'd be
No.
funny.
Cale Christopher Clegg.
Yeah, right? Like, why would you do that to your kid? Because it was funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like worse, Cale Kyle.
Kale
That'd
Kyle.
be a lot.
Kale Kyle Clegg.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
But he is out nursing an unknown injury, leaving it uncertain whether or not he will suit up against the Maple Leafs on Tuesday, which is
That was
tomorrow
today.
evening as of time of recording.
Today's
Today's
Tuesday.
Monday.
Today is Monday.
Today is
You know
Monday.
what?
We're recording a day earlier than we normally
Today is
do.
Monday.
We're recording a day earlier for you as well.
We are. Today feels like a Tuesday for me, but it is in fact a Monday.
Club
so that's
going
great.
up on a
On a
Monday.
Tuesday.
Going down to Calgary, Michael Stone missed the previous contest with an undetermined ailment. Remains to be seen if he'll lace up Wednesday night against the Coyotes. For Carolina, just an update on Andre Casse. Is now on long-term IR with that concussion. Not expected to return until late February. For Chicago, we have Mackenzie Entwistle has missed the last 3 games with an undetermined ailment. He will not lace up against the Golden Knights on Tuesday, so tomorrow. Alex Stalock, who is on IR with a head and eye injury, no timetable for his return. Jared Tenardi wound up on IR with that lower body injury, expected to remain idle until at least the end of this month. And then Janathan. Yep.
That is how
His
you
name
say it
now.
now.
Jonathan.
That's your name now.
That is his name now.
Yeah.
Jonathan Toews was added to IR list with an illness. Team officials have yet to provide an exact return date. For Colorado, we have Pavel Francouz.
Great last name.
Interesting.
It is a great last name.
He is out for at least 3 weeks with a lower body injury, so that's met early March. Eric Johnson was designated to the IR list with a broken ankle.
I think
he is out indefinitely.
I think we've officially found the whitest name on the planet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Cale Makar was absent from the last match due to an upper body injury. Remains to be seen if he will take part in Friday's game against the Jets.
That's one on my fantasy team. It's not going well.
Right? For Columbus, we have Igor Chenikov, who was landed on IR with a high ankle sprain, expected to remain idle until at least the end of this month. We have Johnny Gaudreau, who is absent from the last 2 contests with a lower body injury, unknown if he will be able to play against Thursday's game with the Wild. I'm going to speak that into existence. That's how things work around here.
Yeah, that is actually facts.
Actually, you can play. It would be Gaudreau against Gaudreau, even though you're not related.
Yeah, that's right. You guys have a Gaudreau as well. You have Freddie, right?
Yeah, we have Freddie. We have Freddie Gaudreau, and they're not related in any way.
That's amazing.
So funny to me.
Yeah.
For Dallas, we have Luke Glendening.
Glendening.
Sure, that one.
Yeah.
He is out with a lower body injury and considered week to week moving forward. And I believe we covered Joel last week, but if not, we have Joel
Kiviranta.
Yeah. My tongue is not working today. My mouth is like really super sore, so things don't come out as they should. But he is out of commission due to a lower body injury with no timetable for his return. Detroit only has one guy out, and that's Lucas Raymond. He is sent down to IR with a lower body injury. Unknown how long he will be debilitated, which is interesting.
Great
Shout
terms.
out CDC.
Right?
For Edmonton, Evander Kane is out from the last game with an upper body injury. Unknown if he will play against the Flyers on Tuesday.
He just came back too.
Klim Kostin or Costin.
Great name
what a
too.
Great first name. He has been absent from the previous 2 games due to an illness. Uncertain if he will be back Tuesday as well. And then we have Ryan Murray, who has been shuttled to IR with a back injury, and unknown when he will be back, but possibly late February. For Florida, we have Sam Bennett, who sat out the last 3 games with a lower body injury, uncertain if he will be able to suit up against the Sabres on Friday. That's the only update there. For LA, we have Carl Grunstrom, added to IR with a lower body injury, not return until at least the end of February. The one that hurts my soul
I know. I saw
is
this.
Marcus Foligno for the Minnesota Wild, who is out indefinitely with a lower body injury, no timetable. And I think Evanson's choice of words was, it's not day to day, it's not week to week, it's week to day, or day to week, or whatever he said.
That's fair.
Which
Screw
doesn't make
you,
any
man.
fucking sense, no matter
Right?
like.
And then we have Montreal, whose team continues to
I
just
mean,
fucking fall apart, man.
It
who
feels
would have hoped some of these
longer.
guys would have come back? I
Oh
know
my
It
is longer.
God.
feels longer.
I think it actually is
It's-
longer.
1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
And guess what team
I
you
think it
don't
was
want to
only
play
like
for right
10,
now?
Yeah, right.
right? So we have Cole Caulfield, who is now out for the season.
I
While
think-
he is awaiting surgery for the right
I think we all
shoulder.
expected that, though.
Yeah. But that just got updated, I think,
Yeah,
on the
just the
12th.
final
I think we're all
announcement.
just waiting.
Mhm.
Right. And then we have Kirby Doc, sat out the previous 2 games with an illness. He will not face the Devils on Tuesday. And I wonder if his parents were like Nintendo fans.
That's
Is
what I
that
was
why
thinking
his name
too.
is Kirby? Or is it a nickname or what?
Either that or it
Joel
was really, really big when
Edmondson.
he came out. And it was like
Right.
fits.
Yeah, pretty exactly. Joel Edmondson, who is out indefinitely with an upper body injury, uncertain when he'll be back. Emil Heineman is still sidelined with that upper body injury, likely to remain idle until late February, as is Sean Monahan, who is on long-term IR with a lower body injury. Chris Weidman, Chris Weidman, that's his name, I can read, is dealing with an undetermined ailment, will not be in the lineup against the Devils on Tuesday. And Arbor
Jakaj?
Sure.
I think.
Gosh.
Jakaj.
Was shifted to IR with an upper body injury. Who is also out indefinitely.
I'm
I'll have
glad
to
D
research
attempted that
'cause
one.
that's a-
Because I wasn't
Yeah,
even going
me
to fucking
too.
try.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I've heard it before, and that's how I heard it. And again, just because that's how I heard it doesn't mean it's right. Arbor,
Right.
hit my line if you want to give me the correct
Yeah,
pronunciation.
right?
yeah,
Arbor,
we'll
please
have
let
to
us know how to
research it
pronounce
when
your
that-
name.
Goddamn best.
Yeah,
Because it's interesting as
Um,
fuck. Let us know
it
how to
is,
pronounce your
for
name.
sure. It's a very interesting arrangement of letter. Like, my brain hurt.
There's
for a
not
minute.
enough vowels.
Right? Yeah.
I just feel
It
like there's
reminds
not
me of
enough
a
vowels.
comedian I just saw the other day. He was doing stand up and he takes this guy's license, and it's he's like South African or something. And he's reading the last name. He goes, "Don't you guys have vowels there?" And he reads his first name, and then he goes, "Wait, guess what his middle name is?" And he goes, "David." And he just hands the guy his ID back.
That's funny.
Funny
It's funny.
fucking
That is
name.
funny.
I wish I could remember the comedian, but yeah. For Nashville, just an update on Philip Forsberg, who sat out the previous 4 games with an upper body injury. It's undetermined if he'll be able to play tomorrow night against the Canucks. For the Islanders, we have Josh Bailey, who missed the last 2 games with an upper body issue. Unknown if he'll be able to play Wednesday against the Jets. Matthew Barzal.
Barzell.
Yep.
Yep.
That makes my brain hurt.
Which I hate
Matthew
because
Barzal.
it sounds like someone got confused trying to say Lars Eller.
Yeah.
Like they stopped
Right?
halfway
Yeah,
through. So
yeah,
every time they say Barzal, I'm like,
Barzell.
Well, and I feel like the second A should be an E, but that's just
Well, because
like
everyone
a
knows
regional
Matt
thing.
Barzell, but nobody no one sees it spelt, and it fucks everyone's brain.
Yeah, it's not exactly. But he is sidelined with a lower body injury. He is listed as out indefinitely as of right now. Jean Gabriel Pagou?
Peugeot.
Peugeot.
It's
The
very
one,
French.
the one time
It
you
is very
don't read something French, danger.
Well, I feel like there should be an accent that isn't there, but maybe my brain just didn't get there.
That's fair.
But he is on IR with an upper body injury. He is also listed as out indefinitely, as not added. But Oliver Wahlstrom was shuttled to IR with a lower body ailment, and he is expected to be out for the rest of this season. So we'll keep an eye on that as they release more information. Hopefully,
Yeah.
the Rangers have no injury reported.
Guess what team you do want to play for right now?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So for Ottawa, we have Anton Forsberg, who's now listed as out for the season due to an MCL tear in both knees.
Damn, dude, that sucks. How do you rehab both knees going for MCL surgery at the
How
same
old is
time?
he?
That's gonna suck.
I can tell you how hard it is doing one. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
he's 30.
He's 30.
He's 30.
Yeah. He's
That
only
sucks,
30,
my
so
guy.
maybe he can come back from that. If he was more like my age, I feel like there was no
Yeah,
way
you're
there,
probably not going to come back the
um,
best, but yeah, at 30 you should still have no
right.
problem.
At 30,
I don't
he can
know.
hopefully
I'm
rehab
31
it.
and I would not be coming back from that.
Right.
I'd be in the
So
retirement
hopefully,
home.
man.
I'm 30 and
unless
I might
maybe
come
one
back.
of them's really, hopefully
that bad.
one's not as bad as the other or
Yeah.
something, Nick Holden also is out indefinitely with an upper body ailment. And then we have Jake Sanderson, who is on IR with an upper body ailment, expected to remain out for at least 2 weeks. And Cam Talbot was also, I knew we talked about him earlier this season, but he is now out indefinitely with an upper body injury.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks for Talbot because he missed a lot at the beginning of the season. For Philly, we have Zach McEwen, who is on IR while recovering from jaw surgery. Expected to be out for at least 5 weeks, so that puts it at early March. For Pittsburgh, we have Mark Friedman, who missed previous 4 games with an upper body injury. Unclear if he'll be active for Thursday's game against the Oilers, as is Ryan Poling, who was also held out of the last 4 games with an upper body issue. And then we have Jan Brada, who was designated long-term IR list with an upper body ailment. So I'm sure we've talked about that one because we kind of saw that going to long-term.
Yeah.
For San Jose, we have Johan Gadojevic, who is on IR with an upper body injury. He is considered now week to week. Thomas Hurdle missed the previous game while dealing with a personal matter. It remains seen if he'll be with the team Thursday against the Predators. Timo Meyer, at least that's how we say it up in the north here, sat out last game with an upper body injury, leaving it uncertain if he'll be active Thursday against the Predators. And then Radim Simek, who is on IR with upper body injury. And for Seattle, we have Andre Burakovsky, who is on IR with a lower body injury. He is listed as out indefinitely. And Chris Strider is moved to IR after having that ACL surgery, but may be back as soon as late February. So hopefully in the next week and a half or so. For St. Louis, we have Pavel. I don't know why I said Pavel. Pavel Buchnevich. Oh my God.
Buchnevich.
Pavel Buchnevich missed the previous game with a lower body injury. Unknown if he'll be able to lace up Tuesday against the Hurricanes. We have Jake Neighbors.
Now that's the whitest name.
Yeah.
That might be the whitest name.
Yeah.
Even though it's spelled like the French Canadian
It is spelled
Neighbors.
the European way.
Yeah.
Neighbors.
Yeah. But he is on IR with an upper body injury and listed as out indefinitely, as is Brandon Saad.
Saad.
It's Saad. Okay.
Saad, yep.
Brandon Saad, who is also on IR with an upper body injury and out indefinitely. For Tampa Bay, we have Eric Cernak, sat out the last 2 games with an upper body issue, and unknown if he will be able to lace up against the Ducks on Tuesday. Going on to Toronto, we have Matt Murray, who is now on long-term IR list with an ankle injury, and they're just listing it as the severity of the ailment is unknown. And then Rasmus Sandin, who missed the previous game with an unknown ailment, remains to be seen if he'll lace up against Sabres on Tuesday.
syphilis.
Right. For Vancouver, we have Thatcher Demko, who is now on IR with that lower body injury, expected to be back maybe late February. Travis Dermott is on IR with an unspecified issue, and he is listed as out indefinitely, as is Oliver Ekman Larson,
A great
who
name.
is right
That's a great name.
out with a lower body injury and considered week to week. Curtis Lazar, Laser. I don't know how he says it.
Laser. No, it's Lazar.
It's
The Laser's
Lazar, but
fancy.
Laser's great. He should just go by
The
Laser
Laser's
from
way
now on.
fucking better.
What's your
Right.
last
If you were
name?
a WWE
Laser.
wrestler, it'd be
Laser.
Laser.
You'd be
Oh,
Laser.
100%.
Yeah.
But he has sat out the last game with a lower body injury, unknown if he'll play the Predators on Tuesday. Tanner Pearson, Tanner, is on long-term IR list after undergoing hand surgery. He is now listed as out for the season, which I think we figured Tucker Pullman, who is now on long-term IR due to migraines, expected to be out for the rest of the season. For Vegas, we have Daniil Mirmanoff. We're going to go with that because my mouth hurts.
Close enough.
Does IR. It's a lower body injury. He is listed as out indefinitely. Mark Stone, also listed as out indefinitely on long-term IR after undergoing back surgery. And Logan Thompson is sidelined with a leg injury and is also listed as
Which
out
also fucks me on my fantasy team.
For Washington, update just for Nick Dowd, who is on IR with a lower body injury, but maybe back late February, which I think is the update.
Surprisingly, they didn't update Carl Hagelin. Hagelin's had a massive update. He underwent hip resurfacing surgery this week.
Oh.
He's out for the remainder of the season.
Well, I didn't.
So
I honestly didn't expect him to play.
Yeah.
I didn't
well,
either.
It does
I didn't
say
know
after undergoing a second surgery repaired the eye injury and to address the chronic left hip
and then
injury.
the arthroscopic procedure to address.
Yeah,
but he underwent
so they
hip
should have definitely
resurfacing.
updated.
How's the eye? Do we have an update on the eye?
No update on the
Well, he
eye.
had the second injury.
Yeah.
The second surgery for the eye.
Yeah, we haven't seen how he's doing.
Yeah.
He has not been skating with the team or anything. So he, again, because that hip issue,
Right.
which is the same procedure that Nick Backstrom had.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm surprised I didn't update that because that just came out that he just had the surgery for the hip resurfacing. So I don't know if that's in addition to the other surgery that they had, his chronic left hip injury. But the resurfacing surgery happened this week.
Okay. And then, like we talked about earlier, Alex Ovechkin, who is listed as out indefinitely as of the 14th, while dealing with a personal matter, which we now know was the death of his father. And then, is this Alexei? Alexei Protas, who is away from the team due to the birth of his child. So
hey, congrats! That's exciting.
Which is an
Alexei doesn't play up that often. Like he's often a healthy scratch. I think he is back, but has been a healthy scratch.
Yeah, that's fair.
During the
that was
games,
as of the 16th, so
yeah.
Been a few days.
I want to say he was at the Stadium Series game, but I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay. But yeah, that's the last one. Winnipeg's got nobody new. It's still David Gustafsson. So
wow,
that's what we have for injuries and suspensions.
There was a good amount to cover. Yeah, a lot of those players kind of fuck me over fantasy wise, but we're just hoping everyone comes back happy and healthy and good to go.
Yeah, right.
I guess to round out the show, it is time for our favorite segment, the Obscure NHL Player of the Week. This week is a player by the name of Sean Shanahan. He played from 1973 to 1979, in which he played for the Montreal Canadiens in 1975 to 1976. And can anyone take a guess at what they did in 1976?
They won a
Stanley
Cup.
They won a Stanley Cup. He played 4 games for them that season. Didn't do anything. Literally. He has
okay.
40 career NHL games played. He played with the Montreal Canadiens, the Colorado Rockies, and the Boston Bruins. He has one goal and 3 assists for 4 points, and our favorite statistic, 47 penalty minutes.
Hell yeah. There you go.
So
That's
he
more penalty minutes than games played. That's crazy.
yeah, what a legend. Unfortunately, he passed away in May of last year at the age of 71. I mean, good long life, shit.
Right.
And he went
Yeah.
undrafted in the NHL, but was drafted in the WHA by the Houston Aeros, to which he played 4 games. And you know how many penalty minutes he had? 7.
12.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that
Fair
means
enough,
he got a
fair
minor and he got a major for fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played most of his career in the AHL. But
Gotcha.
played with played with some teams,
Yeah.
and he had his little cup of tea in the show and played on a championship winning team. So shout out to Sean Shanahan as our obscure NHL player of the week.
Well done, Sean.
Perfect.
Right, good on Sean.
Thank you.
But I think that is all we have time for today.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for being here and staying with us through this. We're just psyched that this is the first piece of content that's being recorded for the official start of year 2 of LTN Media.
Right.
I think that's super cool that this is technically the newest thing, and it's the first thing in year 2.
It's also
Right.
interesting though because we're still in season 1 of Pucked Up.
I know, which is
So
Right.
fucking
it's season 2 of LTN, but season 1 of Pucked Up. The
yeah.
math
Right.
is
You guys
out.
won't notice a difference, but obviously next year is
Right.
going to have some upgrades and some fancy
Yeah.
stuff changes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Check us out on our socials. They're all going to be linked down below in the descriptions.
Please do.
If you
Let
guys
us
are
know who you think is going to make a big splash before the trade deadline too.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
for
super
sure.
Curious to know
Absolutely.
if there are any changes to that opinion.
right. Oh yeah, because obviously everyone's going to, have something that they
Have an opinion.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And we want to hear them. Definitely hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching us there. Hit the like button. Leave us a review if you're listening to us on audio form. Just we want to hear feedback from you guys. We want your engagement. We want to know what you guys are vibing with.
Yeah,
Um,
fucking
Absolutely.
friends.
and the coolest part is we've never claimed to be experts, and we're just 3 friends that love hockey that just want to talk about it. So like the
Yeah.
coolest thing we could possibly do. Like I said
Right.
before, anchor.fm/LTN Media. And you guys can leave us an audio message if that's your thing. Also,
Yep.
check out the merch store. As always, we've got fun shit over there.
Yeah, dude.
Mhm.
And anything you guys want to add before we wrap this bitch up?
Nah,
I
dude.
don't think so.
No?
I'm all set.
All right. Well, hopefully we will see you guys again next week in the face-off circle. Have a great night, motherfuckers.